Hey, it's Ryan with QLZ. There we go. It's working. So it's Ryan with QLZ. We're talking with Madame Mayhem today. And you and I talked a couple of years ago and was like, gosh, next time we talk, there's some things we got to chat about. And then it's been a lot longer since I've had the chance to catch up with you since then. There's
In a
some things
minute.
that have happened.
Yeah.
So how are you doing today? It's good to see you.
Great. Good to see you too. Yeah, it's a nice rainy day over here in the New York area. So,
Wonderful.
yeah.
We finally have fall weather here in Illinois. I think we had like a month's worth of 90-degree weather. I think I lost 10 pounds this summer, so it's not bad.
Right.
But yeah, it's more fall weather now where I can actually open up the windows. It's wonderful.
There you go. Yeah, fall's the best.
That's wonderful. I love it. Now, I remember one of the things I want to talk to you about last time. Sometimes when you have conversations with people and they're going really well, it's like I try to take mental notes of like, oh, this was cool. Maybe we don't talk about it now, but down the road. And I think you had mentioned theater a couple of times. You know, you were in theater, I think in high school. I can't remember if you did any in college. I'll let you tell me all about that stuff. But and you can kind of hear it in your voice when you start, some of those longer notes you're carrying out and everything else. So was being in a band something you always wanted to do, or was it something like, hey, I got involved in theater and it kind of went from there?
Being in a band and rock and hard rock and all that has been my dream since forever.
Okay.
But I did start in musical theater. And so even though I've always wanted to do this,
Mhm.
I did have a very long career and education in classical, so opera, musical theater, so acting, dancing, singing, all that stuff. So I was doing that my whole life, all the way through college. Actually, I have my
Okay.
bachelor's of music from University of Miami, Frost School of Music, shout out. So I did that the whole time, but the whole time I was like this emo metalhead, like, well, and I say both of those things because I
Yeah.
listen to both types of music. So, yeah, so I was doing all that at the same simultaneously. Yes.
Okay. Now, how do you think your theater career kind of helps you now with, the career in fronting a rock band?
A lot of things. So the theatrical part of it and the performance part of it, I
Mhm.
think is huge. So I understand the stage and running around and being able to do all that. And putting on the show part, I guess you can say,
Okay.
helped. Also, the training for the singing helps a lot, especially in like the rough conditions sometimes of being on the road. And I would say the most important thing I'd say is more on the back end, like the discipline of it. So, like, I'm always, like, early to everything
Yeah.
as much as I try unless there's, like, a real issue and I cannot be there for whatever real emergency there is. You tell me a certain time, I'm gonna be there at least 30 minutes before, like, just a
Okay.
little, like, nerd with my backpack just waiting. Yeah, it gets, like, annoying with my band sometimes. They're like, "We don't need to be there yet." I'm like, "I just wanna be there just in case." Like, and I learned all that from theater because my first gig as a kid, it was a professional job, and they, like, basically told the parents because we were kids,
Yeah.
and the parents were responsible. They were like, if rehearsal's at 9 and you get here at 9, your kid's already replaced because we have someone else. Like, you need to be ready to go at 9.
Okay.
So, I think I'm traumatized from that. And so I, like, unfortunately, I guess,
Yeah.
put that into every aspect of my own life, which is, yeah, full of anxiety, but I
Yeah.
get there on time
Yep.
or early.
And then I'm kind of the same way. Like if I'm running behind, I get a little like tense, like, oh crap. Like I've been an MC for a festival before. We had the Illinois State Fair here and like, okay, we'll be at the stage by this time. And I'm like, I'm gonna be there 5 minutes before you tell me. They're like, you really don't have to be. I'm like, no.
Yeah, there was like, "Why are you here?" I'm like, "Just let me be here. I'm not in your way." Like,
Yeah.
just for myself.
I have one little spot where I'm here. I'm not in anybody's way, but I just want to make sure that I'm good. And sometimes you get to talk to band members and stuff like that and just kind of
Yeah.
BS with them. And it's kind of a nice thing. So now I have a question for you. And so when you and I talked a couple of years ago, I think you gave birth like shortly after that. 'Cause I remember watching a live stream and I was like, no idea she was pregnant the whole time. And I think it was shortly after that you gave birth. So I've
Yeah.
obviously never given birth before in my life, but like when another thing I wanted to ask you, and I know we never talked about it, but like when you're singing, because you hit some very high notes and you've got some stuff that, some notes that are very drawn out. Like when you're pregnant like that, is it more difficult to get the airway and stuff going, or or was it kind of normal? I've never asked this question to anybody because you're a
It's
unique case.
it's a fair question.
Yeah.
I was able to hit all the notes,
Okay.
while I was pregnant. I will say that I was out of breath a lot more frequently. But the singing, I was still able to sing and hit the
Yeah.
notes, but yes, I was, a lot more out of breath.
Okay, because I've never seen you live. And I remember when we talked last time, you're like, "Yeah, I love to be crazy and run around on stage and everything else."
Yeah.
And then I remember watching the live stream, and it sounded very good. I was like, "Oh, she's not able to run around and stuff right now." And you can kind of see you moving around. It's like you look and you see that look of like, "Ah, I bet she wishes she could run around and
Yeah,
stuff."
that was like right before. And I'll
Yeah,
tell you, and then I got actually it's been a while since we talked. So
yeah.
there was another kid that came
Oh,
since then. Oh, there's two now. So yeah, I took the time while we were creating new music and not on the road and with all everything going on in the world, I was like, I might as well do this now. So
yeah.
I actually played live twice, two festivals.
Okay.
Last summer, I would say. Um, pregnant. First time was earlier on in the pregnancy, so I was able to, like, get away with it. Second
Yeah.
time, it was like, "This is obvious, and I am out of breath." But I still did the running around, and I still sang, and it was still awesome. It was just,
Yeah.
like, I personally, internally was like, "Oh, I wanna do way more high jumps than this," and
Yep.
all that kinda stuff, so, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know, like you said, we talked about you just played Blue Ridge. I know you played some shows with I think 10 years and non-point. So how was this
Mhm.
past run of shows for you?
It was awesome. It was a really short run. We were just gone for a couple days. So as soon as we started to get into the flow of everything again, it was time to come home. So
Yeah.
that's always a bummer. But it was amazing. The Blue Ridge show, we actually played the pre-party, so it was
Mhm.
Wednesday, and we were the first band. So it was just a great show, and the meet and greet was great. We got to meet a lot of awesome, fans and fellow music lovers, and it was really great because we were there early, we were able to take that time,
Mhm.
and so we had a great time. Only after we left did we, hear all of the things that were going on there. Um, we had no idea because, again, we were on Wednesday
Yeah.
in the afternoon. So, like, we left at night, and we were like, "Wow, that's a lot of cars on the road." Um with their lights off, and they're, like, in the middle of the street, and I was like, "Oh, this is so dangerous. Oh my god." But, we had no idea. We just figured there was a traffic jam, and that was it, and then we moved on to the next show, and then the next morning, we saw everything, come in. So, we had a great time. I
Yeah.
feel so bad for everyone who didn't. I'm so sorry for those people. That's never fun, but our show personally, like, from personal experience, because again, we got in and we left right
Yeah.
away. We didn't I don't have any firsthand accounts, unfortunately, like, to spill, so,
Yeah. No, that's
yeah.
fine. And I know you said you opened it, and one of the things I've kind of been curious about as well is, you've been a band that's opened up shows. Like you said, you started this festival, and I've been to plenty of festivals where, the first band goes on stage, and a lot of people maybe in the crowd are the ones that aren't the VIP ones, or the ones that are in the back and in the lawn, everything else. Is there a difference between being the opener of a festival or being the opener of a festival or being an opener for like just a show for one night? Is there any difference to it?
It depends. I mean, then, like, because and I'll use the shows we just did. So after we opened for the festival, we went and opened for our friends in 10 years and Nonpoint as well. So we were first of 3. And that was in a really cool club in Lexington, Kentucky, Manchester Music Hall, which we played before with Seven Dust, but years ago. So it was really cool to go back. And I think it depends on the festival or the show, because if you have fans, or you have just if you're in an area where people just love music, or if they really are like love whatever band that you're going to support, they'll get there early and you'll get to see them, and they'll either know who you are, or most likely they have no idea, which is always my favorite, because my favorite thing is when people either come up to me at the merch booth, or when we did the meet and greet at Blue Ridge, and we're like, "We had no idea who you were, and then we saw your show, and now we're fans." And that's what I wanna hear, because, well, obviously, it would be nice if people knew who we were ahead of time so they could come and rock out
Yeah.
with us, but that means that we're doing something right on stage. So, that always gets me really excited. So there is definitely a different vibe, like, when you're in an outdoor festival, all these people versus a more intimate
Mhm.
club, but it just looks more full because you're not in, like, an open field
Yeah.
somewhere, and you're not. So it's slightly different, but it's still the same energy and impact, I think, at the end of the day.
Okay. Awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. I was always kind of wondered that because it's like, again, I've emceed shows where it's like, some of the people are farther in the back, and it's like you can see the bands bring the same energy. Like, I've had bands tell me, I don't care if I'm in front of 5 people or 5,000. I'm gonna bring the same exact energy on my end the entire time.
But that's what it is, because you know, we're doing it for ourselves as much as we're doing it for the fans. Like, yes, we're
Yeah.
putting on a show for people, but like the bands and I, like, we love this. Like, we live for this. This is like what we want to do forever. So again, one person in the crowd, like, we're gonna give that one person the best show of their lives. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then if it's like 50,000, awesome. You know, it's the same energy.
Very cool. Now you have a new single out called "Get It Right." I told you you're familiar with the Artist Spotlight feature that I've done in the past, and we're gonna have you and the band on this Thursday. What do you want people to know about this song? I know
Um,
some of the songs you've had previously, you've been a little bit more open and kind of speaking your mind, and you've talked about that with some stuff. So what do you want people to know about this song?
yeah, I mean, this song is also very open and very honest. And I talk about things that I would like if we were just talking, it's like harder for me to say, and it's way easier for me to just
Yeah.
play the song and then you'll get it.
Yep.
But I'm really proud of this song, and I really hope it gets, you know, gets the recognition it deserves, because I think it speaks to a lot of people who are in any kind of situation. Doesn't It's not romantic, professional, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're in a situation where you keep feeling like you might be doing something wrong, but you're not, and someone is kind of making you feel that way, or you just feel stuck and the people who are trying to help you are not. And you kind of need to rely on yourself to get yourself out of it and be your own independent person, which is really hard
Yeah.
to do. That's really a lot of what it is about. And finally making that break, which is scary and hard and terrifying. Even after it happens, like, there's relief, but there's also fear. And then you realize that it's the right decision in the end. So that's the song, what it's about. I wrote it with Sahaj.
Okay, cool.
Also
With Rock.
from yes. And he's awesome. And we actually wrote this years ago. We started to. We had met back when he was living in California. And I was there for, you know, for performances, shows, appearances. I don't even remember what, and maybe the NAMM show. We were writing and it was awesome. It went so well. And then, like, we never crossed paths for a while. And then I saw him on Shiprock the last time I was on Shiprock. And I was like, I love that. We need to finish that song. He's like, yeah, we just need a bridge. So we went, we went like on the boat and just finished the song on the boat.
Nice.
And then, like, went to rehearsal and performed for the Stowaways, like, as if, like, and it happened just so easily because the song was just, it was so close to being done. And so we just needed that one little, like, thing. And then we recorded it shortly after. And I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to release this song. So I'm very excited. It's out now.
Awesome. I know there's like, is there some relief to where it's like you've got a song you're working on for years where it's like, oh my gosh, you know, there's a lot, I'm sure a lot of, you know, like you said, a lot of excitement. Is there some relief to it as well? We're like, thank God people can finally start to hear what, you know, what I've wanted to say for a couple of years.
Yeah, because it's how I've been feeling this whole time. And as I was writing it, I was literally in the middle of the situation, which I think is also what's really cool about the song is it was being written in real time while these things were happening. So, like, the bridge happens after all the questioning of yourself, and like, the bridge is already the turning point, but it because of the timeline of it, it's kind of a cool thing that hasn't really happened before for me. So
awesome. So when people are listening to this, make sure you pay attention because there's some different years
you
on
can
it.
also just rock out to it too. I'm cool with that also. Yeah.
Perfect. Whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
So what's the rest of the year look like for you and the band? Is it, I think the last couple times we talked, there's been some singles. I know you've released some albums, you know, in the past as well. Do you want to do an album? Do you want to do an EP? Do you want to do singles? Kind of what's the course that you want to take for the rest of the year?
Yeah. So we have a lot of songs that are already completed. So we are figuring out that release schedule now. We definitely have enough for an EP and possibly a full album as well. So it's just figuring out the best way to share it to our fans and the way, you know, that everyone wants to get it. And the best way for us, we are hoping to do some more touring as well. We're already doing Throwdown at the campground in June of 2024 that is already booked. So hopefully some more things will be happening prior to that. But yeah, everyone just has to keep an eye out. Everything is kind of, all the wheels are turning right now. So announcements soon.
Very cool. And the year is almost over. It's weird. We've got less than 4 months of this year left.
I know, it's weird.
And I think you might have done this blog post for me. I can't remember when I was in Wausau. I did favorite fives. I was asking bands their favorite complete albums. Okay, you did do this for me. I thought so. But I'm going to ask you in person, because I've been asking every band since then. I've turned it from a blog post to asking, every band that's either comes in studio and hangs out, or we do through StreamYards or whatever we do. And I can't remember your list because all that stuff is completely gone, unfortunately. But maybe there's some.
Oh
some new
no, I have it
ones
pulled up right here actually because I did my research too.
Oh, did you really?
Oh my God, look, I have it.
Oh my gosh.
I have it on this computer.
Oh my, wow.
I told you I'm really prepared. It's weird.
I know,
but
no,
yeah,
awesome.
So I have it. Shall we? I haven't looked at it. I just opened it. So I'm very curious to what I answered and see if it's still true.
All right. And if there's any new ones, feel free to add them as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Metallica and Justice for All.
Okay.
No explanation needed.
Yeah.
Incubus, Make Yourself, and Morning View, because both of them played a huge role in just my childhood and preteen years. A little less heavier than what I'm used to listening to, but love them.
Yeah.
Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, because duh.
Yeah, I think you and John Connolly of Seven Dust, I think both had that one. I'm pretty sure.
Well, John is awesome, so it makes sense.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Nirvana, Nevermind, and Soundgarden, and I couldn't make up my mind here, and I don't think I'd be able to now either.
Okay.
Between Badmotorfinger and Super Unknown.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I know it's called favorite fives back then, but now I'm just asking people like, what are your favorite ones? And some people have given me 3, some have given me 5. What was it? A couple of guys in Under Oath just kept going for like a 3-minute segment, and I'm just going to kind of sit back here and you guys just take over the interview and roll with it. So it's there's no cap put on it. Do you have any more since then that you can think of? Since we talked,
there's so much good music out there, right?
Yeah.
So it's really hard to like pick a full album. But I'm still pretty set on this list because it's very much it's my childhood, and it's really what formed me as a musician and as like getting into the rock world. So I'm pretty cool with it. Awesome. I think I'm okay with it.
It's a great list. It really is. I mean, if you have Metallica and Soundgarden on there, Incubus, I think Make Yourself was the first album I bought from them. I'm pretty sure that was like that was like right as soon as I was becoming a teenager in '99. Like, so just hit the teen years, and that was the next step of everything I got into as well. So awesome. Again, Get It Right. It's the song we're gonna have in the Art Spotlight this Thursday. So 8:30 a.m. my time, 9:30 for you out east. Anything else coming up that we didn't chat about that you want to throw out there, or where can people follow you on all the socials and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I would just say everyone stream this song or listen to this song on 97.7 and watch the music video. The music video is really cool. We worked with this awesome company, this awesome guy from Italy, and he put together a really cool animated video. So it's very different from what we've done. So I think everyone should check that out. It's on our official YouTube page. And Instagram, Madame Mayhem, Facebook, Madame Mayhem, Twitter, Mayhem Official, or it's not Twitter anymore. Sorry, X.
Yeah, I got the X on
there, and TikTok. I'm on TikTok now. That's new.
Okay.
So, yeah, but on all these different platforms, you really get to see different parts of what the band does or what I do. So I think it is cool to be able to see all those different sides, but it is hard to keep up, I'd say. So you can always just go to the website, madamemayhem.com, and that's Madam with me at the end. And then anywhere you want to go from there, it's all right there. Really easy to obtain. So yeah, check it out.
Awesome. Cool. Get It Right Thursday morning. So Madame Mayhem, it's good to catch up with you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks. You too.